All right, folks, let's give you your spring market update and what you should know in regards to the spring market in 2026. Quickly, let's go through what the Utah market is doing. The current listings on the market are up almost 5% compared to this time last year. Under contracts are up almost 12% compared to this time last year. And if you look at the sales, they are also up. Now, what does that mean for you if you're buying or selling? Well, I'll tell you, the National Association of Realtors, and there was a study that was done, and they were anticipating that there was going to be about 14% higher sales this year compared to last year. Now, what people weren't planning on is they were planning on hey, interest rates were going to continue to drop, which we have seen that. Folks, we had interest rates that were 6.5%. They dropped all the way down to 6%, and then they made the adjustment back up. Statistically, once they had gone back up, it was one of the lowest months for loan officers that they had seen the lowest amount of people applying for a refinance in almost 4 years. Why? Because people saw this low rate and they're like, why would I refinance when the rate goes up? Makes sense, right? What should you be thinking about the market? Well, consider this in this spring. One, you're going to have more options on the market than you did last year. The other item to consider is when the National Association of Realtors said, hey, we think sales are going to be up almost 14%. Well, when those rates changed, they had adjusted that to, well, we think sales are now going to be closer to 4% higher than last year. In our local market, things are more of a micro market, I will tell you. They are a little bit different, but we do follow trends of the nation. So with the change in interest rates, what I'll tell you is we are seeing more homes hit the market, more opportunities. So if you are buying property, you have more options compared to this time last year. Also, part two is be aware that if you're selling your home, the average days on market was almost hovering around over 70 days. That has now come down to an average of 66 days. Folks, please, and again, this is my market update to give you information of what to expect. Please don't have your home on the market for 66 days. That's an average agent with average marketing doing average things. Imagine, what would you offer on a home that has been on the market 66 days? Are you going to offer them full price, or are you probably going to try to get a deal? I think you're probably going to try to get a deal. So consider the fact that when you have a little more inventory, when you have a few more options in the market, the number one thing I'm going to recommend to you this spring is, one, make sure your pricing is in line with the market. Know that we have trends that have occurred over the last 3 months and 6 months that we need to look at. Know that an appraiser will not go back farther than 6 months in evaluating a property. We will sometimes look at different numbers and data in a micro market or in a neighborhood, but in the end, folks, we've seen a lot of changes, so make sure you do get a proper market analysis, a pinpoint analysis, and the realm of what that sales price is in order to assist your home to get the most showings, get the most activity, and in doing that, in preparing it, making sure it's show ready, making sure that it's white glove clean, making sure we're having our staging done, making sure we're having the internal, external, it's clean, light, and bright, we're finding we're getting multiple offers, okay? So just know, don't consider the average market of what you need to do. That's an average home on the average market. As you know, we're preparing our homes different. You're preparing your home different. We can actually sell that home in probably half the time of what the average time on the market is. And so consider that when you're considering selling your home and moving to the next one. And then finally, if you're a buyer, run those numbers in advance. Know what your interest rate is, know what you're going to be able to get into, and also know that you have more options on the market. And so you sometimes have, depending on the property, depending on the activity, depending on how long it's been on market, the opportunity to negotiate where a seller is typically a little bit more amenable, they are a little bit more understandable, they are a little bit more willing to work with you in regards to repairs, closing costs, possession, timeframes, the terms of your offer. As you see this spring, we're seeing more homes sell. We have a number of properties under contract, everything from small little condos that are investment properties all the way to large multifamily and commercial buildings and even a motel. And what I'll tell you is, folks, is just know that there's a strong market, strong activity. People are looking, but it's a different type of look. It's not as many tire kickers as we maybe had. It's serious buyers looking for a lifestyle change, and they're ready to move. So just know we have really good buyers, really good opportunities. If you're looking for a pinpoint analysis, You want to look in a specific area, know what is the best opportunities for you. And another thing, as a quick note, there's great opportunities to get into investment properties right now. Why? We have a number of different folks that are getting into an age where they're like, I am so tired of managing this project, this property, this multifamily, that they want somebody else to be able to take that over. And there's opportunity to increase those rents, improve that property, and force equity into it. So just know there's a lot of good things going on. If you want to know more about the market, what the opportunities are, what you should be considering, please let us know. Looking forward to assisting you, and talk to you soon. Thanks.